Whispers inside the palace say a confidential financial report was quietly slipped into King Charles' hands. And what it revealed is being called the most explosive misuse of taxpayer money in modern royal history.
Everybody says she's a bully. She's very nasty. Not only is she incredibly controlling, but she's a bitch about.
This also follows all the stories about her bullying staff over here in the UK, which is unresolved. NDAs stopped all that stuff coming out, but she bullied people in a very unpleasant way over here.
End of every episode, it says, like, the starring Meghan, Duchess of Sussex.
Yes.
That's how she's.
And at the heart of it all, Meghan Markle died according to explosive insider reports. A secret royal audit has uncovered serious financial irregularities, all traced back to Meghan's time as a working royal, and possibly even after she stepped away from the crown. The findings were so damaging, so deeply unsettling that sources claim Meghan collapsed behind closed doors after discovering what had been unearthed. This isn't tabloid noise. This is a full-blown royal crisis, allegedly. The report links Meghan to a tangled web of questionable expenses, funds that royal accountants say were misrepresented, misallocated, or worse, continued well after she officially stepped down. And now, as the report quietly circulates through palace corridors, the whispers are turning into roars. And at the Parliament is starting to stir. The pressure is building and the public wants answers. Meanwhile, Meghan, she's reportedly blindsided, completely unaware of just how deep this audit goes. But this is just the beginning. Because what royal accountants have uncovered might rewrite everything we thought we knew about the so-called royal exit. Behind the gilded palace doors, whispers of a financial investigation had been quietly echoing for months. It's no longer rumor. Sources say the findings were finally compiled into one formal report. No press, no leaks, no announcements. Just a single red folder, coldly stamped, confidential financial review, and slid across King Charles's desk without a word.
Did you see my baby mama dance?
I mean, stop it. First of all, can I just tell you the timing of that? We maybe watched it like 20 times yesterday, and I was like, is that her?
Oh my God.
Is that Prince Harry there with the fingers and the, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, by the way, that wasn't yesterday.
No,
that was 4 years ago. So it's also a really great reminder that with all the noise or whatever people do, there's still a whole life, a real, authentic, fun life that's happening behind the scenes. I'm just grateful that now, being back on social as well, I have a place where I can share it on my own terms.
Yeah. Oh, it's so great. It's so authentic, isn't it?
What was inside that red folder? It stunned the palace. The report allegedly lays out a detailed trail of taxpayer-funded spending, all tied to Meghan's time as a working royal. And shockingly, continuing well beyond her and Harry's royal exit in early 2020, we're talking about security fees, staff salaries, private jets, wardrobe allowances, even luxury upgrades to overseas residences, all flagged by royal accountants as deeply concerning. One palace insider didn't hold back. They called it a spreadsheet of secrets. But this wasn't just some annual expense review. The numbers weren't lining up. According to internal sources, auditors labeled the findings as inconsistent with agreed exit protocols. That single line set off a storm. 'Cause if you believe the official royal narrative that Meghan and Harry had cut ties cleanly and financially walked away, this audit says something very, very different. And what followed next was chaos.
Oh my gosh, I worked so hard.
Mornings are as I get the kids off to school. You're making fruit parfait crudité boards? Like,
my God.
boom.
Meghan and Harry claimed they left royal life behind, that they cut the cord, walked away, and stopped relying on public money. But the audit, it tells a very different story. Among the most jaw-dropping revelations was a string of payments, quietly labeled as post-transition expenses, and they didn't stop for a few weeks. They allegedly continued for over a year after the couple left the UK. We're talking about private charter flights, luxury accommodations overseas, and even interior design upgrades, all reportedly billed through complex subsidiaries tied to Crown Estate affiliates. And just when you think it can't get any worse, it does. The report allegedly includes a £1 £2 million line item marked security relocation, which sources say was linked directly to their big move to Montecito. All this, while the couple was publicly assuring the world they were no longer using a single taxpayer penny.
Harry Sussex? I have no idea. And no, Meghan, no one knew that. Like, why are you correct?
She talks like she's a one-woman band. That is not hard work. Hard work is get up in the morning, get to 7 o'clock, getting to a factory or a shop and working for 10 hours on your feet, coming home knackered. That's not what happens to her.
And still being a mom.
That is
Still
not
being
what
a
happens to
mom.
her.
But according to the audit, that public promise, it may not have been entirely true, at least not in the beginning. Several payments reportedly originated from taxpayer funds, specifically budgets earmarked for official royal operations. But instead of stopping after Meghan and Harry's departure, those funds allegedly continued flowing, just not directly. Insiders claim the money was routed through third-party intermediaries, slipping quietly past public oversight. The tactic? Silent. The impact? Massive. And now, royal advisors are reportedly furious, blindsided by what they're calling a breach of protocol and trust. Meanwhile, Parliament. They're circling like hawks, demanding answers and preparing to take this scandal to the public stage.
I'm going to show you how to make a happy, warm, loving home after I have successfully severed my husband's ties from his entire family.
Before we even get to the main event,
when the stakes are this high, doesn't it make more sense to hear our story from us?
oh, shut up. What do you mean the stakes are this high? Who do you think you are? Other than a latte-munching imbecile.
Harry and Meghan are the problem. And while we're going to go all over all the people that they've hired, just as a great reminder, the couple have hired plenty of professionals before. People at high levels who have worked for Bill Gates, Patagonia, all these sorts of things. And yet none of them have been successful. The common denominator in everything here is Harry and Meghan.
How hard I tried, no matter how good I was, no matter what I did, they were still going to find a way.
We want privacy! We want privacy! Thanks for having us on the show. It's so awesome to be here. It's great. So let me start with you, Sam. You've lived a life with the royal family. You've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it.
Proud to. If you excuse the massive book deals, the Silicon Valley startups, the preaching videos about well-being, the podcasts, the speeches, and the major network interviews with everyone from Oprah Winfrey to James Corden. But they've barely been seen or heard at all, have they? Well, on Thursday, they'll quietly and apologetically release their $100 million for about an hour-long cab ride. Never seen as grandchildren. This show is packed with the kind of spurious claims and hypocrisy that have become the Sussex signature. We learned they began making videos about their heroic journey 6 months before their Netflix deal was even announced, and right at the start of a pandemic that was killing.
But according to the audit, that public promise, it may not have been entirely true, at least not in the beginning. Several payments reportedly originated from taxpayer funds, specifically budgets earmarked for official royal operations. But instead of stopping after Meghan and Harry's departure, those funds allegedly continued flowing, just not directly. Insiders claim the money was routed through third-party intermediaries, slipping quietly past public oversight. The tactic? Silent. The impact? Massive. And now royal advisors are reportedly furious, blindsided by what they're calling a breach of protocol and trust. Meanwhile, Parliament. They're circling like hawks, demanding answers and preparing to take this scandal to the public stage. But according to the audit, that public promise? It may not have been entirely true, at least not in the beginning. Several payments reportedly originated from taxpayer funds, specifically budgets earmarked for official royal operations. But instead of stopping after Meghan and Harry's departure, those funds allegedly continued flowing, just not directly. Insiders claim the money was routed through third-party intermediaries, slipping quietly past public oversight. The tactic? Silent. The impact? Massive. And now royal advisors are reportedly furious, blindsided by what they're calling a breach of protocol and trust. Meanwhile, Parliament. They're circling like hawks, demanding answers and preparing to take this scandal to the public stage. But according to the audit, that public promise? It may not have been entirely true, at least not in the beginning. Several payments reportedly originated from taxpayer funds, specifically budgets earmarked for official royal operations. But instead of stopping after Meghan and Harry's departure, those funds allegedly continued flowing, just not directly. Insiders claim the money was routed through third-party intermediaries, slipping quietly past public oversight. The tactic. Silent, the impact. Massive. And now royal advisors are reportedly furious, blindsided by what they're calling a breach of protocol and trust. Meanwhile, Parliament, they're circling like hawks, demanding answers and preparing to take this scandal to the public stage.